Every autumn in the small town of Gracefield, nestled by the dark waters of the Northshire River, the wind grew colder, and the whispers in the woods grew louder, carrying the name of Lillian, the drowned girl. She had once been young, full of life, ready to marry the man she loved. But then, on a moonless night, her fiancé vanished, leaving her nothing but the echo of rushing water. They say she leapt into the river, her cries swallowed by its depths. Now, her spirit haunts these shores, looking for answers, or maybe something more. Jack Harper, new to Gracefield and a skeptic by nature, never believed in campfire stories or bedtime myths. Yet every night, as he passed by the river on his way home, he felt that unshakable sense of being watched. One evening, restless from sleepless nights filled with nightmares of rushing water, he grabbed a flashlight and headed to the riverbank. "All right, let's see what's so damn scary," he muttered, half amused, half nervous. The fog was thick, the kind that seeps into your bones, but Jack pushed on. He needed to prove, to himself, mostly, that there was nothing here but shadows and stories.
The trees loomed overhead like silent sentinels, their branches clawing at the sky. Jack's footsteps crunched on the damp earth, and the river seemed to murmur his name, soft but persistent, Jack. Jack! He froze, flashlight beam wavering, and then he saw her, a pale figure, standing on the water as if it were solid ground, her hair floating like seaweed in a dark current. "Who are you?" Jack called out, more command than question. The figure turned slowly, her face half hidden in the mist. "I've been waiting," she whispered, her voice like the crackle of dead leaves. "For what?" Jack demanded, trying to sound braver than he felt. "For you, Jack." "For the truth," she answered, her lips barely moving. "Truth? What truth?" Jack's voice cracked, the cold creeping into his bones. She glided closer, her eyes empty but intense, pinning him to the spot. "Your truth," she hissed, and suddenly, the river swelled, waves lapping at his feet like hands reaching out to drag him in. "No, stay back." Jack stumbled backward, nearly losing his footing. "You think you're different? You think you can escape what's coming?" Her voice was louder now, more desperate, like a cry for help mixed with fury. "I don't know what you mean," Jack shouted, his heart pounding like a drum. But deep down, he felt a pull, something he couldn't ignore, a memory, or maybe a dream. "Oh, but you do," she whispered, and in that moment, Jack saw it, flashes of faces, places he'd never been, yet they were all so familiar. Panic surged in him. "This is some kind of trick," he yelled, turning to run. But the ground gave way beneath him, plunging him into the icy river. Water filled his mouth, his lungs, he fought, clawed at the surface, but the river was thick, pulling him down like quicksand. "No, let me go," he screamed, but her face was there, inches from his, and she was smiling. "You already know the way out," she said softly, almost kindly. Jack's mind raced, heart hammering in his chest, and then he remembered, he had been here before. In another life? Another dream? "I've been waiting, too," he whispered back, the words coming from somewhere deep, somewhere forgotten. Suddenly, the water receded, and Jack found himself standing on solid ground, drenched and shivering, but alive. The river was calm, a mirror under the moonlight. The woman was gone, but her laughter echoed in his ears. He stumbled away, breathless, and turned back one last time, only to see his own reflection staring back from the river, smiling. A smile that was not his own. And in that moment, Jack understood, he had never left the river. Not really. He was still down there, beneath the surface, just another story waiting to be told. Who was the real ghost that night, the woman or Jack himself? Had he truly escaped the river's grasp, or was he doomed to repeat this nightmare forever? In Gracefield, they say the river never lets go of its secrets, and those who listen to its murmur long enough might just find themselves lost in its depths. But for now, the town will sleep, dreaming of unusual stories and the mysteries of the night. The river, however, will always be awake, waiting for its next visitor. Or perhaps, its next victim.